Good Wednesday evening. Can you believe it's March 2022?
No,
And I'm
Mars.
live. When I was in my teens, I was like, oh yeah, 2022. I'll doubt if I'll be alive. It just would be so old then. Wow, here we are. It is still an amazing, stressful, severe time in our world. But these Wednesday nights that Vivi, who is running a little late, as you know, she lives in Mexico and does a lot of her life in across the border in San Diego with her family, was running a little bit late. So she'll be on in just a bit. We have our guest on time, and we have a wonderful hour plan. Truly a wonderful, important message and guest to help us with that message. Welcome. Many of you have met her, many of you have not. Dominique Renesca. She is the founder and CEO of Nature Way here in South Florida. She lives in Port St. Lucie. I met Dominique at one of her probably lowest times in her life. She was battling a very active disease called lupus. And as everyone knows, when you have an autoimmune disease, that autoimmune disease is a diagnosis for life. And you can have flare ups, and it just ruins everything that you are. And I'm going to, while Dominique is presenting her, she brought us a PowerPoint, which is exciting. And then we can interview her and ask her some questions. But I'm going to dig up an old photo of Dominique and put it up beside a new photo. If I can do that without Vivi here, she'll be here soon. But it's amazing what Dominique has done finding pharmacology, right? FARM, nature's medicine cabinet, many things that she's used that are non-toxic and truly have transformed her back into a beautiful young woman very quickly and very sustainably. So I think I gave you a big introduction, but Dominique, I know that you are technically in the pharmacy field, not working there now. You have your new business, but can you talk a little bit about who you are, um, why you are working towards helping others like yourself learn how to live their best life naturally?
Well, thank you, first of all, Tanya, for having me here today. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Dominique Renesca, as Tanya said. I am the founder of The Nature Way. It is more of a botanical practice where we go straight for the herbs and learning about nature as well as understanding the inner body and spirits and all. And I am a proud partner as well with IQMK. Now, I have spent most of my years working as a manager with Walgreens, learning pharmacy and understanding the in and out of the business as well as when I came to a point in my life where I was diagnosed with lupus, those drugs that were in there could not help me. It could not save my life. So therefore, I had no other choices but to find other ways, alternative medicine, which in my own opinion, and I say that each and every time, is the primary medicine. Because even with those medicines that are on the counter, you cannot get those medicine without having the plant base first. Everything derives in nature and on in earth first. Are you able to hear me? I cannot hear you.
Sorry, I was on
There you
mute.
go.
Um,
Okay.
you were a little robotic for a moment, but you're
Oh,
fine now.
sorry.
Keep going. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. Maybe poor signal where I am.
All right. So, can you please tell us in that journey from lupus to where you are now, a vibrant wellness enthusiast, advocate, becoming a coach, running a business. Um, what what were your main uh, what was the main foundation of your success? What do you believe it was?
My main foundation for my success, I think, is my family. Because most times, especially being a mother, we never look at ourselves first. We always look at our loved ones and how we could be around for them as long as possible. Because in the midst of my fight, I was not thinking about my sickness. I was thinking about how to be here more and longer for my family, especially my two little children.
Okay, outside of that amazing connectivity to love and family, and we know those of us that have, I've been a women's health advocate, teacher, hospital executive, community educator for 3 decades plus. And I think that I can also agree with you and safely say that human connectivity, that human spirit that needs each other, really is the greatest push to heal. Really, it's what drives us to get better. But you had other things. I mean, you
Yes.
actually went off really intense drugs and decided that you would not let lupus run your life. What was that path? What did you take? What did you do?
Well, I went, first of all, the one and easy, like I said, with my family, but also too, what ended up happening to me is while I was taking these
Dominique,
types of drugs,
Dominique, Dominique,
um,
Dominique,
yes, you're losing me?
Dominique. Yeah,
Yes.
your video is beautiful. You look wonderful, but your connection, audio is not
Okay.
good.
Is it still bad?
No, it's better now.
I'll try. I
Now it
still
went
have
again.
my family. One thing that, oh Lord, I am so sorry. I am on.
Go to your best
Moving
Wi-Fi
to
corner.
a closer internet. I would not know where that is in Port St. Lucie. In Port St. Lucie, it's really harsh to find one. Seriously.
But
But
you're
can
good
you hear
now,
me
even
now
though
or
you
no?
had a shadow.
Okay.
Yes, just keep your phone
Yes.
from your
What I
face and
was saying
shadow
is,
up.
okay. Am I good?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the things that really had bothered me while taking these medicine and trying to thrive to live is that I was being killed at the same time. I do remember maybe that. I remember countless amount of time where my heart felt like it was being enlarged by this medicine every time I was taking it. But instead of getting me off or giving me something, I was offered more drugs. And at one point, that got very tiring for me, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. So from there on, I started doing my own research and find Nature's Garden. That's when I just take it into my own hands and removed it from everyone else's hand and just found my path. It's from Nature's Garden where I started taking herbs, and most importantly, out of all that, it was detoxification, which we are
Good.
going to talk about today.
Yes, and I think that's a really important conversation. I think I was doing a lot of research before we came together, and some of the most compelling reasons to detox range from the toxicities in our food, our everyday food, right,
Yes.
to stress, and the stress that we get personally, and the stress that we get from the media. Another real reason is they say to detox from change of seasons. So we are right on point for your PowerPoint that you created for us tonight, which I'm excited to share with everybody on what is detoxification, why do you want to detox, and how do you do it? So I know that you're not a licensed professional healthcare provider, but I know that the information that you're providing is all research backed and credible, and that many of us, but most importantly, your beautiful self has done it. So I'm going to bring it up to the screen.
Okay.
I'm going to let you be a little larger on the screen with it. I'm going to
Okay.
disappear and try to find ugly Dominique, stricken by stress and the horrible lupus that I met you at. Because when I look at you, especially since muscadine, honey. You have just, you don't look like you can be a mom. You look like you're a teenage mom. Um, and your energy and your smile and the brightness of your skin is really inspirational to me. So let me get
Thank
that
you.
set up for you.
All right.
And
And also too, will I be able to change the screens, or you will be able to do that?
no, the best thing to do is just go ahead and raise your hand,
Okay.
and I will happily just move to the next one.
No
Okay.
problem. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for having me. Like I've said, my name is Dominique, and I am an I partner with IQMK, as well as the proud owner of the Nature Way. Oh, today we will be talking about, this detoxification, why we do it, and why we should do it, why it is assessment. All right. Detoxification, the one reason that you need to do it is it revitalizes the body in a cellular level. Now, when I went on to look at the definition in Oxford to see what the definition of detoxification is, I found that it is a process, okay, removing toxin, and not only that, it is or a quality. So I need you guys to remember the word quality, especially. All right. Now, when we look at toxin, we ask ourselves, what is toxin? If you notice, the first definition it gave me was that toxin is just poison, straight poison that is in our body. And it is very harmful and unpleasant. And also, too, when we look at quality, quality is a standard of something that we could measure. So just like in comparing to something else, just like we compare in our everyday lives, the pain versus no pain, spirituality or being drained, health versus sickness, good and bad relation. A lot of times we don't compare detox or the way we feel with the way we treat each other, but it all tied in one. So therefore, remember, when your body is sick, it affects not only the interior part of you, but also what you put out, the way you treat people, the way you act around people. Tanya? Okay. Also, most people, when they think of detoxing, they think of it as a form of weight loss, which is one of the worst things you could do to yourself. Because what end up happening is that once you get to that weight, your weight of preference, you go back to your old habits. When really, in reality, you should be sustaining a lifestyle, not just using detoxification just to lose weight at some point, but to also use it to actually do this very often. Now, the things that we will find when we detox is that you're getting detoxification out of the gut. You're eliminating a lot of toxin out of the gut. And also that helps you not only because when you're blocked, if you notice, if you feel sick, okay, you don't have the best attitude, right? And also too, we have bad habits. So it makes us feel a certain type of way and we treat people a certain type of way. So it also lower our quality of life. So some benefits that you will have when you detox is reduce inflammation. Everything starts with mucus and inflammation in the body. So when you detox, you get to ease down that inflammation. And if it's something that you're doing continuously, you will reduce it. You will actually eliminate it completely. You could also control your blood sugar as well as improve your circulation, your immune system. There is a lot of things. And also too, we think better when our body is detox. Just kind of think about it. When you take in a deep breath, you have to take it out. So also too with your body, when you put things out, you need to also release it. It needs to come out. The food that we eat. Wait, Tanya, can she see me? All right. There are many different types of ways that you could detox, all right, to empty out the stomach. And also ways that you want to start. First of all, you want to have a mindset that you're going into that. And you want to know what type of fasting you are going into. And also, too, it's always best to start early morning and also on an empty stomach. A lot of times we start midday where we already have food in our body. Our body has a lot of parasites. So what happens is that when we already put food and certain things in our body, especially when you're talking about your sugars, it triggers you to be hungry. To your body is going to attack you mostly and say, hey, why didn't you feed me? So the thing is that it is best to set your mind that you are going to fast. You do it early morning and you choose which fasting you want to do. There are different types of fasting. There is water fast, and all these you want to consume at least, because it is on a complete empty stomach. You want to do it. You want to consume as much as like 1 gallon's worth of liquid of whatever kind that you're going to choose to do. Whether it is a water fast, a juicing fast, a liquid, which consists of water, soup, not soup, broth, and juices and all that stuff, you could see the different list. Now, please be cautious. If you've never fasted before, do not just go jump right into a dry fast. Dry fast is when you have absolutely nothing at all. And with that, you cannot do it long term, and you have to know how to do it properly. You have to prepare your body and everything with it. And also too, you have to understand with fasting, when you're fasting, you're removing toxin from your body and you're not putting that carb, which would give us energy and certain things. So therefore, we would need, we will be low energy. We don't have as much energy to burn. So we need to actually be very careful when we choose to fast. Now, couple things that you want to remember is if you are fasting for the first time, don't go extensively. Try it first, maybe a day, a 24-hour fast, or try an intermittent fast first. And also too, if you're dealing with certain diseases that does not allow you to fast, like you cannot go a long period of time without food, do consider which type of fast you're doing. Remember, like if you're a diabetic or you have certain issues going on where your insulin could drop, or you might have other issues, you need to consider picking the right, you still could fast, just pick the right one. Because even though you're juicing, you're still getting your nutrition, your nutrients from these foods, except in a water form, like in a liquid form. And also to, you want to, especially if you're trying to reverse a disease, just like myself, you want to go ahead and increase your antioxidant. And that's where muscadine can play a big role into that. And also too, you can also do sea moss, which has 98 minerals, to get the minerals that you need throughout your day.
I'm gonna just stop for a second because I wanted to point out everyone's talking about intermittent fasting. And this is a little bit different because we're talking about a longer period of time. The intermittent fasting is really a way of weight management, right? So
Yes.
you do not eat for literally 14 to sometimes up to 18 hours, and then you're okay to eat a normal diet. This type of fasting rests, I guess this is the way I've heard it from my naturopath. It rests the digestive system and it stops taxing the liver and the kidneys so that your body rests from work in order so that things like muscadine and other antioxidants can heal your system better. Is that a correct way of
Yes.
looking at it?
That is correct. That is a way of looking at intermittent fasting. But the thing is that with intermittent fasting or any type of fasting, one thing people do not consider is how to break the fast. Because when you're doing that and then you wake up, whether it's regular fasting, because our body automatically, when we're asleep, that's why the first meal is breakfast. We're breaking a fast, just like an intermittent fasting, but a lot of people go ahead and eat a big meal or eat something that's not slowly going into their system, where you're doing actually more harm to your body because you're shocking your body. It's just like being room temperature, your body temperature, and jumping into a cold lake. Body where you could also cause other damage.
We lost you for a second, Dominique, but I think it bears repeating that even with the intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for 16 hours, 14 hours, what you put into your body shouldn't be, a Dunkin' Donut or a Krispy Kreme, because that ends up kind of reversing all the good that you've done, because all of a sudden your
Exactly.
fresh and innocent body is saying, what the heck? I have to deal with all those trans fats, liver kick into gear. I know you were asleep. It actually seems, I'd never thought of it this way. It actually seems almost more dangerous to fast and then jump into whatever you want, a big steak dinner with a mashed potato and butter, and then it sounds like that would be really hard on your body.
In a sense, we are doubling on that fat instead of reducing it. So with detox too, what we need to consider is the way we could look at it. If you notice, I have someone changing their oil there. You kind of have to look at it as like changing your oil in the car. In order for them to change the oil, they normally will take out the old oil first before they put in the new. And that's what you're doing with with fasting. You're removing the old and putting the new. All right. So if you treat your body just like you treat your car, getting changed every 3 months, we would probably be in a better state with our health, And even if it's just a day fasting, it actually improves our lives and the quality of our life.
I want to point out something that Peachy, our VP in the Philippines, who's on at a god awful early hour, and she always is. Thank you for the support, Peachy. Really, it's detoxification, and I think Mike just put this up, is a process that the body performs around the clock, utilizing important nutrients from the diet. Absolutely. And that's why we don't want to eat crappy day after day after day. And that's why we want to have the security of MusNatural and a large quantity of antioxidants flowing through our blood every couple of hours. But one of the things that I think is important is what Peachy said about colon cleansing. Um, as most of you know who know me, I went through a very serious round of third, fourth stage cancer 10 years ago now. And even though it was not a systemic cancer, thank God, and it was probably misdiagnosed as such, and I did not, and then I went for genetic testing and all kinds of stuff. But most importantly, I learned from a very traditional oncologist that so much gets stored in our colon. Because I had told him that when I came back that I had done the Gerson diet, which is a very radical, all veggie, some fruit, wheatgrass, lots of juicing, all juicing actually, and actually coffee enemas, colon cleanses in the beginning 3 to 4 times a day, and then down to 2 times a week before, you kind of are healed. But what was amazing to me is that this normal oncologist said to me, but of course, your grandmother did enemas. Europeans still do enemas. So much toxin is trapped in the colon. And that rotting food and that rotting toxicity then feeds back into our blood because the blood circulates in the colon. And that is why colon cancer is one of the most deadliest, because it's a stagnant, slow-growing cancer that all of a sudden is diagnosed almost too late to do anything about it. And one of the really beautiful things about the detoxes that I have done, the first 2, 3, 4 days of them, because I've tried to do a week at a time, are horrible because your bowels are just, thank God, they say, I'm going to rest. Let's get all of this stuff that you didn't even know was inside out of you, including heavy metals. It's just amazing what you can see come out of your body. And then it's so important to respect that process as you get back into a normal life, and to understand, like I do to this day, that eating processed food for, every once in a while, I will go and have a fish sandwich at McDonald's because the kids want Happy Meals. I'll do it. But I know
And then you get constipated.
oh no, it's a detox for me.
Oh.
But you know that if you sustain that diet, not only would your body just pack on weight and carbs and be all confused, but it would really then begin to store all that trans fat, all that in your body. And that just turns into atypical cells, which then turn into
The
cancer.
cancerous cells.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep
Exactly.
going here. This is great. Thank you, Peachy, for that. It's a brushing of your colon.
Yes, exactly. And also what to expect. Oh, you went too far. One more
Oh, okay.
before that. Yes, what to expect when you're detoxing. Remember, your body is releasing bad things. So you are going to get all these types of emotion. And not only that, it's not used to it. So it's confused. The first day that you're trying to do fasting, it says, hey, I'm down here, feed me. We normally eat at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why aren't you feeding me? It's 12 o'clock. Why aren't you eating me? So your body and your mind is going to start talking to you. And also even you're going to consider, it's like, hey, okay, fine. I give up. Give me a piece of chips. Give me something. It's going to battle you. But up to the third day, the first 3 days are normally the hardest time. But after 3 days, you lose interest in food if you're consuming as much water. Every time you're hungry, you try to drink water, but you will experience everything that you see on this list here. But your gut is starting to get used to it and it's flushing. Just like Peachy was talking about, it's like a brush. The thing with fasting, it's not just imagine having a straw. You're drinking from a straw and you put that straw for a rest and then pick it up again without washing it and then using it again. Do that again, repeating it for 30 days. All right. Now imagine you 40, 50, 60 years old, been doing that your whole life and never cleanse it's just like your artery. You're not cleaning your guts. You'll get all that buildup around. So detox actually gives you the chance of cleaning out the walls of your stomach. And if you're fasting for more than 3 days, and not only that, your stomach and your gut's going to go because of the water weight pushing it out, but you're going to start feeling better. And you won't believe the smell that comes out of your body and the different colors. It changes from the regular colors that you see, colorations, and it gets to a darker because it's a deeper cleansing. And it is very important. Not only that, like I said, it improves the quality of life. You feel like you're walking in air on air when you finally get to that state. You feel very amazing. Your intuition is more in tune. You don't have a care in the world. You don't have any anxiety, and the things that nothing bothers you. It's just a very different experience. You feel almost like an angel walking on on earth or something like that. It is totally amazing.
All righty. Let me go forward here.
Okay. Well, and also too, remember whenever we're removing something out of our life, whether it's a bad boyfriend, a bad relationship, it is hard. It is scary. We always think, what are we going to do? We've been doing this for so long. But also too, what you need to do is to stop thinking and questioning yourself sometimes. Evaluate yourself and what you're worth. And are you worth living with pain or without pain? And also, embrace that this change is coming and actually think of the result versus the process. So always think of the success versus the beginning, the painful beginning that you have. And I leave you here with a quote, which I cannot see. Tanya, it's very small for me. I don't know if you could see it, but can you see
Hunger.
that? Yeah.
Hunger is the first element of self-discipline. If you can control what you eat and drink, you can control everything else.
Yes. So if you can watch and respect your temple, your house, your home, your body, if you can control what you put in your body, because this is the most things we have control over is ourselves. We can't even control what we put in our kids' mouth. Try to feed a baby who does not want to eat that I don't know, applesauce or whatever for that moment. You can't force them unless you change what you give it to them. So if you can change, if you can control what you put in your body, whether that person is eating that steak and you wanted to, and you could say no to it, you could turn around to it, you can control practically anything else in this world. Thank you.
Wow, that was just awesome. That was really, really awesome. What I
Thank
am
you.
trying to do right now, and it's going to be messy because, um, because let me try it here. And my screen's not up there, is it? No,
I can't see it, so not me. So
it's not. I am trying. Um, I'm trying to put up that picture of you. I feel like I wish I could do this. Well, I will try to do that when Vivi gets on. She said she'd be on momentarily. Okay, so Marsha, I'm not going to ruin your last name, but I'm going to try it because it's so beautiful. Baksafra Labasan, what a beautiful name. She writes, as a mother, we should be a role model. Since birth until now, they don't drink soda. Her kids don't drink soda. And wow,
oh
you're
no, you could actually go to my Facebook page and you will see my kids, even my daughter, when she was 3 years old, 2 years old, they were talking about alkaline. And basically, since I've changed my lifestyle, I do my best to change my kids' life. Unfortunately, I learned this lifestyle at a later age where my kids were already introduced to non-alkaline and certain ways of eating. So I cannot say it's the easiest thing to do to keep them at transition. And also too, I am the only one in my family that eats a certain type of way. So it is but my kids stay away from a lot of different things, but I cannot say totally that they're out of, onto a vegan alkaline diet.
Yeah. And I think, yes, we understood, Marcia. And what I've noticed, I have my grandkids have been living with me now for 2 years. And when they first came, they had very different tastes. And, everyone thinks I eat oddly, but it's funny. I watch them now. I bought them actually, I didn't buy it. It was a gift, a box of Lucky Charms with the marshmallows. And I said, look, guys, let's just treat it as a treat. It's a very nice gift. Let's put out the bowls. Let's pour our unpasteurized farm milk and see what goes on. And both of them were like, oh, no, this is just too sweet. Where's the cornflakes? And they like frosted flakes. I buy them at Trader Joe's. And Cody, the 10-year-old, can read labels and he'll say, this is about half the sugar as the regular frosted flakes, but it's not half the taste. It's very good. And I just get so proud because, honestly, all disease starts in childhood. And
Yes,
as somebody who is kind of on the national platform with hospitals, one of the things I hear at conferences, which I haven't been to for a while, but that kids at 8 and 10-year-old are presenting with triglycerides and cholesterol levels that before had not been seen until people were in their 60s,
exactly.
accumulated fats. That's just really, really scary. And
Exactly.
my kind of fun game that I like to try to play with the kids, and I think you'll like this, Marcia, is is what we're eating have more than 5 ingredients? And if it does, ooh. Now, spices aren't ingredients, but if the stuff on the box is like, there's like 50 things, or on the frozen food, or even in the Crustables, there's like 80 things. It's like, wouldn't you just rather have a piece of bread and real peanut butter? Like,
Yeah, if you cannot read it, pronounce it, you don't eat it. That's
yeah,
basically how I am. And also too, like water, very careful. It should not have any ingredients in it. Water should be water. If
yeah,
you check water bottles, you'll see that they have carbonate and it has all these other things in it to clean it. If
yeah.
certain bottles that we're buying very expensive water, they have these extra stuff. And also too, speaking of what you're just speaking about, is I don't believe anymore because I used to believe in heredity. I no longer believe in that, and I'm going to explain why.
Mhm.
Because what happened is that a lot of times when you go to the doctor, they tell you, okay, did your mom have cholesterol? What is your family history? Now, with family history, the way they come about with that whole heredity is if your parents had it, you most likely to have it. Well, what if I was adopted? I'm just using the adoption as an example. And I was adopted to a family that eat clean and vegan and this and that. The likeliness of me having what my parents have is non-existent. And it's just like now where, I battle lupus. No one else in my family had lupus. And not only that, with me changing my lifestyle, there's no way of me getting certain diseases that my family would have. It's just like living from one region to another. If I live in Haiti, I eat the way they eat. And if I live in China, I will eat the way people in China eat.
Yes, yes. I'm actually right now on Muscadine Global looking for your photo because I know I put it up there, and
You can find it.
I know that I can show it if I do it that way. See what happens when we don't have Vivi? It's like really just horrible. Um, but I think
Which
I
photo were
just,
you looking for?
the photo when you were
The one,
miserable with lupus. Yeah. Yeah. I have it
oh,
on my,
my face.
yeah, that's all swollen and just awful. Um, But yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you keep mentioning alkaline water, and I'm a real believer in alkaline water. I'd love to get your perspective on that and how it helps with the fast. And also, because I know that I've been doing some work on how it's connected to antioxidants, but go ahead and give us your perspective on alkaline water. You've mentioned it several times.
Yes. Well, I'm not talking about forced alkaline. I am talking about what I mentioned on my presentation, which is spring water. Spring water is considered to be water that you actually take from like a river, a running stream that actually touches the rocks and pick up the natural minerals, because our body is made up of more minerals than vitamins. Of course, we do use vitamins to get supplements. You can get your vitamin D's from the sun. What I'm saying is that there is different ways of getting your vitamin D's. When I do say alkaline water or alkaline fruits, I'm talking about the fruit that is actually higher pH, 7 or above in nature. You can actually buy these testers of liquids to test your water, and also make sure, especially spring water. I stick with spring water, and it's clean water. Me, to tell the difference in water because I've been drinking a certain so long. I drink another water aside the water I drink, it tastes differently. So when I speak of alkaline, not forced alkaline where they actually use machineries to do it, but the actual water that comes out of nature, which they bottled up, whether if they go through a filter, and it does not have any ingredients in the label, and I consider that alkaline.
Yeah, we lost a couple things, but I understand, natural. Oh, we lost you totally,
Okay.
my dear. Oh, there you are. Um, Alkaline water occurs naturally, right? In those beautiful, clean streams. If many of you have not read the book or visited the website called Blue Zones, I'll put it up, Blue Zones. There are 5 zones in our world where it is normal for people to live 100 plus. And if they die
Nice.
before 90, it's like, oh my God, they died so young. Um, One is Osaka, Japan. One, believe it or not, is in California, a city in California. Right now, my mind blanked on that. I need to take some more muscadine. Um, Also, Greece, Sardinia, Italy, and there's one more that I'm missing. It's not Hawaii, but saying that, they almost all have a source of spring water or a propensity to drink mineral water because it is naturally alkaline and it is full of the things that our body needs. On the other hand, if you can't easily find it, um, to have alkaline water that is made from machines is better than drinking bottled water. Alkaline
Yes.
water, if you drink it throughout the day, just like we take MusNatural throughout the day, keeps your blood alkaline. Now, I don't know, and I hope no one has had as much experience as I have. I used to do hospice volunteering when I was a VP in Pittsburgh at a hospital. And I especially was very much involved with the ovarian cancer ward. And I remember that one of the things that the doctors and the nurses would be alarmed by would be high acidity in the blood, right? Acidic blood means things are failing in your body.
Yep,
Again, acidity in your body means that it's not doing well, that it's dying.
exactly.
Alkaline water helps your blood maintain an alkaline balance. What's cool is that viruses, bacteria, even cancer cells can't live in an alkaline petri dish or an alkaline blood. So look into that. One of the, and I can't say this unequivocally, but I'm trying to get to the research on antioxidants. But it seems that antioxidants bring alkalinity to the bloodstream as well. I know that grape juice is an alkaline balancer. So it's fascinating. It's just fascinating. And I think what it comes down to is detox to get your body clean, to
Yes.
rest your organs, and then feed your body good, balanced alkalinity, antioxidants, good, clean protein sources, and complex carbs.
And also, Tanya, I will add this in if you don't mind.
No,
Especially
please.
we're talking about muscadine and also seeds and skin. It is a source of we were just talking about, what is
Antioxidants?
well, not just antioxidant, but alkaline. And the reason it's alkaline is we're dealing with seeds. Whenever we're dealing with seeds,
Oh,
yes. So also too, what we need to know that is very essential about alkaline, and you guys could research that, alkaline never dies. You can go ahead and burn it to the ground. It becomes ashes, and then you take that ash, you eat it, it still has its. So if you find out which plants are acidic versus plants that are alkaline, like I said, you could burn it down to the ground and you could still eat it. You could still eat the dust, so that is very important. And that's what also is in muscadine, because it is a seeds. When you're dealing with seeds, you're dealing right directly with the DNA of the plant. That's what will
mhm.
reproduce.
I am Lynette. I know you're on, so I just invited you onto the screen because Lynette and I are sisters in research. And while we've been talking, she did a little research on the blue zones, and she actually has research on what are the traits of the longest lived people. I just sent that to her. So if she joins us for a few minutes, she can share that with us. Powerful information, blue zones, powerful information. Let me ask you this, Mrs. Renesca. What causes you to flare when you have
Uh,
moments of weakness?
Stress. Well, oh, now I don't flare. Are you talking about
Yeah.
like, oh no, I haven't flared in years since I found my truth, since I found myself. I don't. But before, I would be stressed, thinking about me not getting up out of the bed to feed my kids or this and that. And I would start feeling my lungs, because it was affecting my lungs directly. I would feel my lungs starting to get really huge and inflated. I don't flare anymore. No, not at all.
That's amazing. That's just so good to hear. So good to hear. And I know there are a lot
Thank
of
you.
people and lupus as well as MS, as well as eczema and psoriasis. I'm missing some that are big. These autoimmune Crohn's syndrome, uh, these autoimmune diseases are on the rise as the world is full of more and more stress. Our lives are full of more and more toxicities. Um, it's amazing the amount of newly diagnosed, mostly women, with these debilitating inflammatory diseases. And I can't stress enough the power of eating clean, keeping your stress level low. And one of the best ways to deal with stress, and I am speaking from a personal experience, is not to lose sleep, right? Not to lose sleep over worries, not to lose sleep over problems, because that will only make them bigger. It will only manifest them worse. So sleep, no stress. And I guess there's some really good stuff that Lynette quickly found for us. Lynette, you're on the screen. Can you tell us those regions and what
Hey
you
Hi,
guys.
quickly
Lynette.
learned? Cool.
Hi guys. Okay,
Hi.
so I actually did a training on this particular subject probably early on in some of my training sessions for IQMK. And we were talking about how there's actually a region really, really close to where I live called Loma Linda, California. And the reason why is because they have a community there that with Loma Linda University, they teach everything very holistically, and they eat vegetables, right? And that's how they actually, on the university, they actually have farms and things like that where they teach people how to eat. Anyway, the other four are Okinawa, Japan, and that's pretty obvious because they eat their, the fish around them, and they don't put chemicals into anything. And then the next one is Sardinia, Italy. And I know personally, my experience in Italy was when I was there, we actually shopped every morning to buy the groceries that we were going to eat that night. So there was everybody, somebody went to the grocery store every morning. And for there was a family living there. So it was 4 or 5. There was 7 of us at this house, and the refrigerator was like one of these little mini fridges, okay, that you find in a hotel, right? And I thought, wow, that's amazing. Why is your fridge so small? And then she, my sister-in-law looked at me and said, well, what would we put in there? I said, well, all the stuff that we bought. And she said, why? We're going to cook it right now. I said, well, what about for tomorrow? She says, well, then we go to the market tomorrow to shop for whatever we're going to eat tomorrow night. And I thought that was a fascinating way to live life. That's just the way they live. That's normal everyday life for them in Italy.
And in most of Asia, they do not have refrigeration
as well. Yes. So the whole concept of of refrigeration is very big in the Western world, but that has a lot to do with why our health is where it's at.
Diminished. Yeah.
The other place would be Nicoya in Costa Rica. Why? Because they've got the rainforest, right? And then the last place is Icaria, Greece. Okay. And so in these places, they have certain long living people traits. And there's 4 of them. Okay. So the first one is they move naturally. In other words, they don't go to the gym. You don't find gyms in these places. Well, maybe in Loma Linda because it's in California, but in all these other places, I was talking to one of my nieces who went to school in Italy, and she says, I think it's really funny when you guys in America, when you study history, you look in a book. We walk outside, right? And they have the ability to do that, thank God, but that's what it is. They walk as part of their history lesson, right? So it's just a part of a different way of life. So they make daily physical activity just a part of everyday life. We don't have to remind them because that's just what they do.
and
right?
they go for walks at night
Yes.
after they eat.
Yes.
How simple is that? You grab somebody in your family and you just go for a walk around your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is, we have all of these ideas. Oh, don't eat past 8 or whatever. Typically, when I was in Italy for almost 3 weeks with my sister's family, and typically we ate at 10 o'clock, and we didn't finish eating till about 11:30. And then after that, we would get bomba, which is basically their big donuts that came out of the oven fresh at midnight every night where they were living. So So it was just like the routine. So they would have their dessert, but as we had our dessert, we would walk to the place to get it, and then we would walk back as we're eating it. So even the evil stuff that they did was had a healthy component to it, right?
So what else is there? Yeah, go ahead.
So the second thing is they have a very healthy, positive outlook. They don't woe is me as much as and their consumption of TV and media and all the craziness that's going on in the world that is complicated and negative, and it's exploded 100 times over when you watch it on TV. They limit that. They don't, they limit all that consumption. Okay. Obviously the third thing is they eat wise. They eat all. Here's the thing that I found really, really interesting, especially in Japan, right? They have this concept where they only eat until they're 80% full. If you eat to the point where you're really, really full and you're going like this, that's, to them, it's just not done. So you eat when you stop eating when you're still a little bit hungry. That's kind of their concept of
comfortable. Be comfortable.
Yes. And then the fourth thing is belonging. Okay. So create a social network. Just like Tanya was saying, when you go to dinner with somebody, go take a walk afterwards. Even if you're going to go get dessert, walk it, and connect and reconnect with your religious or your spiritual affiliations, and always prioritize family. So those are the four key factors in these 5 areas where these people grow to 100, 120 years old. And the difference between growing 120 years old and healthy versus 120 years old with full of disease is a completely different,
try 70 and full of disease. Yeah, is the
right. And so you have these people that are in 120, 110 years old, and they have their full mind. They can see, they're alert. They're healthy because of these factors.
A lot of antioxidants are being put into their food. They're eating more of the fruits and vegetables and the grains that they're eating. A lot of these places are eating ancient grains versus the refinery grains that we're eating here. Yes. And also too, there are some countries where they practice to eat with their hands, like Asia, certain places in Asia, as well as Africa.
We do that.
Yes, what that does, from what I understand, is that it sends signal to your mouth, to your brain, how many times you put your hands in your mouth and you feel full faster than if you were to eat with a spoon. Because the spoon is not natural, but your hand is, and you're remembering, and it hits your senses.
Yes. Tell that to my popcorn bowl. But I do want to make mention, that was great. Thank you. But one of the other characteristics is wine drinking. The resveratrol in the wine.
That's true. That's very true.
In most of these places, Italy.
That's what they call the French paradox, right? Yeah, they can't explain why the French eat as much cheese and fat-laden food. The French diet is a very, very heavy diet, but yet they have the lowest occurrence of heart disease on earth.
Yeah.
But also too, their cheese is not processed like ours.
That's very true.
That's I mean, the way we put every garbage in our food and the FDA approve it, as long as they get their cuts, it's not the same thing. That's why they're able to do it and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need to kind of bring this to a close, but it's fascinating. Dominique, you really did a good job with this whole concept of, just how important it is to stop and reset our body, to reset the organs that work so hard every day to fight the toxicities in our world. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy. I know you said that it's so painful in the beginning, but if you really keep the right kind of stuff on hand, it's not so bad. And a almond milk smoothie in the middle of a day when you're on day like 3 of the fast, or 4 when I do a 7-day, it's a whole meal. You put some flaxseed in there, you put some blueberries, and it's just awesome. We don't need to tax our bodies every single day. And that's what fasting helps us to realize. Absolutely. And then the other aspect is, when you fast, you need to have some security, and you need to feed those organs that are resting. MusNatural, muscadine, superfoods like that are so critical, are so important. Once again, I go back to the cancer treatments that involve juicing. It's about feeding those cells, not taxing them, protecting
intracellular effect.
Right. Intracellular healthcare. So on that note, we missed you, Vivi. I'm sure she got stuck in another bunch of traffic, but we will be here next week. I don't know what the topic is yet. We have 3 possibilities, but a really big one that I've been very excited about is the fact that as doctors are making less and less money, they're beginning to sell more and more supplements. And one of the best-selling supplements that are customized by one of the biggest labs in the world for doctor office products is Resveratrol.
That's right.
And on the bottle, it says for neurological benefits, cardiovascular benefits, and doctors sell and continue to grow, selling boatloads of it. So I think we're going to be talking sometime soon about what the more allopathic or traditional medical industry is beginning to do with what we know in nature's garden to be the truth, that nature has us covered, and our body wants to heal. Our body doesn't want to die.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
our body is very intelligent, if we really think about it. When we're sick, you see how it reacts. It stops automatically on its own. It tells you, stop putting stuff in me, just let me rest. If you notice, whenever you get sick, you have no feeling to eat. You know what I mean? You lose your appetite. It's because it's asking you to stop and just nourish me with just antioxidant and oxygen, just water. That's all it's asking you for, liquid.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a topic suggestion, hon?
Yeah.
A what? A topic? Okay.
We've had several people that have talked about their increase in libido, and I think that would be an amazing topic for.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about sex, baby. No, I mean, seriously, because
yes.
When you're healthy that way, you're healthy in the rest of your life. Trust me.
I have a very cool potential.
You live longer.
I do have a very cool potential guest for that. That's a sex therapist and also does sexual response counseling with diet and natural supplementation. So let me see if I can get in touch with her. Well, I'm going to close off. Mary, thank you. She said, sorry, I missed. We'll watch in the next day or so. I want to let you all know that you can watch it wherever you're seeing it right now. It stays in the feed. But also we have an extraordinary growing YouTube called Muscadine Global. Type it in. You'll see really good, honest, amazing testimonials. All of our podcasts are there, and some basic general short videos are there as well. So please, when you get some time, and if you want to look at other podcasts that you may have missed, please go ahead and find us there. Everyone, thank you, Dominique, again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
There, Lynette, with the Blue Zone. Always. Everyone have a beautiful, healthy month of March, and we'll see you all next Wednesday with Hear It Through the Grapevine. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a fantastic way.